and treat the police as not enemies but friends. Through the community policing initiative, I want to thank my sub-county police commander and the county police commander who have been very instrumental in this process. And I can tell you, I think there doesn't exist a more effective community policing strategy than is currently here in this police station, Masi police station. Probably it's a case to learn for other areas and how to work very closely with the police and have the community is actually part of the policing initiative. And I am one person who believes in rewarding good initiatives, because now the police have really tried to do the right thing. I also want them to have a comfortable life and have offices that are decent. So I have a strategy to have some of the best offices across the entire sub-county. I have already 6 police stations, and I want them to have the police to have nice admin office, blocks where they can serve the people effectively. Today we've just commissioned one of those blocks for Masi police station, and we'll be moving to do the same for the other police stations across my constituency. IBC has meant they've come out one to say that they rule out a possibility of new constituencies before next year's general election. I support that position. They are just confirming the same position that I've been saying over and over again, that probably we are even concentrating on the wrong things. We need, as a government, to look at our priorities right. It is a shock that IBC would be talking about lack of budget to do elections. Ask yourself then, what was the budget? What budget was read by the CS the other day? Did that budget look smaller than 5 years ago? And if it is not that small, so where is the money? Because the budget seems to be big. And if the budget is as big as it is, and we have not seen something that is a wow on the ground, that the monies are going to this particular thing, where are the monies? So if it's not, we can't see it in development. The constitutional bodies are still also struggling. The judiciary is also struggling with funds. So where is the money? Who has the money? And the budget is red. So what happens after the budget is red? So my position is that, one, let us also try to stay away from this culture of every other minute we want to change this, we want to change that, we want a new constitution, we want new constituencies, we want all that. I think the government of Kenya is in a position to fully finance the operations of IBC to do the next general election period, because the money is there as per the budget read. If it gets to that point where it is necessary for Parliament maybe to swing into action to assist where necessary, remember again, the budget also passes through the National Assembly. Issues of money to do a general election, I don't think that should be a problem. What I have a problem with, and many Kenyans have a problem with, is monies to do new constitution, because they have not up to now seen the need for a new document, because the document that is there still has the potential to effectively serve the people if the leaders are willing to do their constitutional duties. The last ruling, and you remember it's part of the ruling on illegality of the BBI, was that the commissioners do not constitute a quorum. And Well, that is still a case that is being challenged. But in light of the general election, there is time to get to fill the vacant positions for the commissioners. I don't think that is a big word because there's still time. My question would be, with the ruling that was done, then what becomes of the current by-elections that are still being done under the same IEBC, which is illegal according to the ruling of the High Court. But in terms of getting the new positions filled, I think only a plus, there is enough time to do that. President is welcome. It is his country. It's like now me, I can move to every part of the constituencies I wish. He is free to visit every part of the country, whether they elected him, whether they did not elect him. What I want to warn the Kampa people is not to be too anxious and over-expectant. There is nothing very new that is going to come with this visit, because the budget has been read. I would have appreciated the visit if it was a bit earlier, that we can give out some of the priorities that our people are crying about, so that they are part of his budget, the budget that has been read. I saw what happened with Raila. He went there and gave a lot of goodies, which majority of which now were actually, there was a prior plan to have them even all the way from budget formulation, budget policy statement. So he's going there strategically to launch or talk about things that are already budgeted for. Because budget is a process. Now, for Ukambani, it seems the same old projects that have stalled are the same projects to be visited. Konza, what happened to Konza? I mean, what is this visit supposed to do specifically, because I'm still not aware, to make sure that Konza becomes our techno city? They stole the docket thing. So what is new in that? We want to invite the president to Ukambani because it is a part of his country, but we also wish to request him to know that we saw what he did in Western. We saw what he did with Raila. We plead with him when he comes to Ukambani to do the same. If Ukambani people are as important as the Team Raila and handshake thing. But even as we get to that, I also wish to remind, maybe the president is not aware, but the team, that we had a similar meeting in 2016, where I was part of the conveners. We carried about 5,000 leaders to the State House to discuss projects, priorities, funding, so that the president can visit. We went there. We get about project list, priorities. I still have my priorities fresh. I was promised the Kivandini Tala Road. I was promised Wamunyu Kalawa Road. I was promised the Mwala Kangundo Road. They were supposed to be tarmacked. They were promised. And remember when we had the Uduma launch here, the president also visited us here. I reminded him. Those promises run into 2016. From 2016 are yet to be implemented. So before making new promises, I would request that those promises that were done in front of 5,000 leaders, elected leaders, opinion leaders in State House, and the president even mentioned commitment to do some of those. I would urge that some of those projects are done before new promises. But we have no personal vendetta with the president. He is my president. By far and large, I participated in his election and most of the other leaders here in Ukambani. We wish him well. We want to pray for his good health, but remind him that there is a Kampa nation here. And if there is something maybe wrong, we did, those who supported to put this government in power. We have seen people who did not participate in the election of this particular government getting a lot of goodies. I want to tell him, if the problem is those who supported the government in Ukambani, there are those who did not support. Let him come and give us goodies for those who did not support his government, because they are still there. Raila and the team, they did not support his election. They have gotten a lot of goodies. Maybe the problem is the ones who helped to elect him. So they are still there in Ukambani. He can use that avenue so that we can also feel as part of this particular country. But as I conclude, I also want to say this, that my wish is that in future, the approach of the president is that development should be spread across, regardless of whether a team or a delegation has visited State House or not. So that for those who do not have the access to the president, they also still feel they are going to get part of the development.
And this is a landmark building for the community here. Generally, crime is under control within Mwala. When I talk of specifically Mwala, there's nothing much worrying. There's good relationship between the community and the police. Extremely, the best within Machakos County, to be precise. So we need just to enhance that and improve on where we think that we are not doing our best, and there's room for improvement always. Otherwise, so far so good. We're happy that the committee of CDF found it prudent to have this building here. The hospital was squeezed in a small, tiny office, but now it's spacious. He can have his meetings there with his community policing and serve the community better. So we're grateful to the CDF committee, including their patron, including Mheshimiwa Honorable Musioka, Engineer Musioka. We're impressed by that. Generally, the county is quiet and calm. There's nothing much worrying. We had an increase of cases of defilement, but we are addressing the same through the community, and most cases are before court. And we had a case of in the river where we had a child who disappeared last year, who was in a secondary school, but we recovered her yesterday from Gidurai. She was 16 years old. She was informed to in Meru, and we recovered the child, and also we have suspects who are in custody. They will be charged before court. So those are, we did an intensive investigations to secure that child. It took a lot of time. Otherwise, that's it.
Had she been kidnapped or?
No, not kidnapping. But you know, the kids are, you know, susceptible to a lot of problems, and male take, you know, advantage of the children. So she was not abducted or kidnapped as such. It was her will, but she doesn't have any consent because she is underage. Yes, we appeal to assault cases within Mwala, just within the community, and there are issues which are related with family issues. We have in assault cases. So we urge the people to be, you know, to reconcile and, you know, solve these issues, and let them not take the law into their hands or go violent ways. There are a lot of ways to mediate and solve the issues. So let them have that discussion, deliberations over issues, and respect, you know, the community way of solving issues. That will serve us a lot. Otherwise, on issues of illicit brews and drugs, we are working on them, and we have dealt with so many issues of Mbuyuni, particularly in Mwala. That's why we have illicit brews, not in any other place. In Mbuyuni is there we have illicit brews, and we have dealt with that. So,
thank you.
Asante.
Congratulations. Sitaona hivi hata mnavaa t-shirt iko na logo ya polisi. Kwa hivyo nyinyi hata ni polisi kidogo. Na kwa sababu mkivaa hizi na mnaenda kwa wananchi, mnaleta police force karibu na mwananchi. Ni kweli Mheshimiwa Mwekali alisema hapo tulikuwa mbeleni, tulikuwa tunaogopa polisi. bali nimezaliwa ni kando wa barabara. Na wakati tulikuwa tunaona hii black color ya polisi, hata ni vizuri mmeweka laini zingine mkaondoa hiyo black. Tulikuwa tunakimbia tunaingia kwa culvert because police walikuwa enemy. Lakini unaona kama leo ndio wenye marafiki wetu wa kwanza. Kwa hivyo kile ninashukuru Mungu ni kwamba vile mmeshikana hapa masi.
Let us not assume. Polisi apewe pia heshima yake.
Tunataka msensitize watu wetu wachukue kura. Kupea preference mtu wa IBC is a very critical guy here who needed a lot of time. At least ambia watu what is going on. There is voter sensitization program going on.
Na wanang'aa vizuri. Hii especially hapa niko na timu yote ya football.
Mr. Kiruya, we going to have another person? So you can also capture the signature. Businessman from Mombasa. Yes, you have. He's signing the Fistas book, very importantly. Thank you, Mr. Kawaya, for doing this good.
Of the other 5 police station. Hii ndio ilikuwa station. Na wamekuwa kisunguka